Hey guys, in today's video, let's look at how we can use VBA to grab the text between quotes in a text file. And so just to set it up, I have this shakespeare.txt file, and as you can see, there's a bunch of quotes in it. I've also added some text that's not in quotes, and I want to test whether it can skip over them and then go to another quote on the same line. So here's what our code will do today. It's going to set the file path of the text file. It's going to create a VBA dictionary and then open that text file. Then we're going to look for the opening quotes and closing quotes, and then it's going to extract the text between those two points and add it to a dictionary object. Then if it's going to look for any other quotes on the line, and if not, if there aren't any, it's going to go to the next line. Finally, we close the text file and then get started on adding the text to an Excel worksheet from our dictionary object. So I hope I've set it up clearly, and let's get started on our code. Okay, so the first thing is to declare the sub import quotes, and then now we're going to do our declarations here. So we have our file path as string, our file number as long, our text line as string, our quotes dictionary as object, our quote start as long, and our quote end also as long. Okay, so these are all the declarations. Now our file path is a simple one here. Then that is just C drive / demos / shakespeare.txt. Okay, and then now we're going to create our new dictionary. So we're going to set our quotes dict equals to create object, and then we're going to call it our Scripting.Dictionary. This is a dictionary object. Next thing we want to do is open the file. So file number equals to free file, and then open file path for input as hashtag file number. Okay, so now we've opened the file. Now we need to loop through the file. So loop through the file, what we're going to do is we're going to do a do while not end of the file. So do while not, then EOF end of file, then our file number. Okay, and then our line input for each line is the file number and text line, right? Okay, then quote start. So our start of the quote is always 0. Then now we're going to have another do loop, and then we're going to find the next opening quote. So it'll be quote start, equals in string, and so we want to have the next number, so it will be quote start plus 1 text line and the quotation mark, so that's character 34. So once it finds that, if our quote start is greater than 0, then let's close out the if. So if our quote start is greater than 0, what we're going to do is we need to find the ending quote. So our quote end will be in string, and then our start will be quote start plus 1 this time again, and then our text line, and again character 34, which is the quotation mark quote. Okay, so now if our quote end is greater than 0, then we end if. What do we want to do if our quotation quote end is greater than 0? We want to extract the quote. So dim quote as string, and then we want to get the quote. So we get our quote will be the mid, and then text line, then quote start plus 1 to quote end minus the quote start minus 1. Yeah, that should be our quote. And then we want to add it to the dictionary. So if not quotes dot exist quote, then we want to add the quote. So it is quotes dict dot add, then quote, and our key can just be quote as well. Okay, so then we can move past this quote. So we set our quote start equals to quote end. Okay, and then we need to do, if there's no matching closing quote found, meaning it has to go to the next line, so we do an else here, and then our quote start will be length of text line plus 1. Okay, so we end if here, and we have another else. If then no more opening quotes found, to exit the loop, so here we would just do an exit do. Okay, yeah, and then once you have got the exit do and if, and then we're going to do this loop loop while our quote start is less than or equals to the length of our text line. And for here, we're going to just do a loop. Okay, so this is everything about extracting the quotes and adding it to the dictionary. So once we're done with that, we can close our file number, and then now we can transfer the quotes to the Excel worksheet. And here I'm just going to do something simple by dim WSS worksheet and setting WS to the active sheet. Okay, so once that's done, we clear the contents, ws.cells.clear contents. We've cleared our contents, and then let's just loop through the dictionary and add all the items to our worksheet. So dim I is long for I equals to 0 to our quotes dictionary.count -1. What do you want to do? We want to ws.cells I plus 1, 1 dot value will be our quotes dictionary dot keys I. Okay, then go to the next I, and we can just do a simple message box. Just once everything is done, message box quotes imported successfully. Then yeah, and then just VB information. Okay, so I think this should be the code, but when you write so much code in one shot, there might be some errors, especially in the do portion. So let's just test it out. Okay, so let's test it out. Run import quotes. Then we get an object. Right, it should be quotes dictionary, not quote dictionary. Okay, hopefully it was something simple like that. Brilliant. Okay, so everything worked, and as you can see, we have 11 quotes, and that's because there's one extra quote on the first line that is after some text that is not in quotes, the another quote to test. Yep, and yeah, so I hope you guys found this useful. This is a way to extract all the quotes from a text file into VBA, and you can then modify this, whether you want to add it to your PowerPoint, to Microsoft Access, but the only part of the code that will change is pretty much here. This file processing, text file processing portion should remain the same. Hope you guys found this useful, and do let me know in the comments if there's any particular scenario you'd like to see, and I'll try and have that coded for you. Yeah, and see you in the next video.